All right, 32 past the hour. Joining us now, NBC News Capitol Hill correspondent and host of KCDC on MSNBC. KCDC is here with us, and you had a big interview, Casey.
That's right, Mika. I was down in Houston yesterday, which, of course, Texas, a major Super Tuesday state, to catch up with Mike Bloomberg, who, of course, saw his campaign take a real hit after his first debate performance. But, you know, they think that they are bouncing back here as we move forward. And, you know, one thing that you guys have been talking about all morning that I started my conversation with him about was the coronavirus. This is something where he, argued on the debate stage that he is better prepared to take on Donald Trump, both in the general election and also, of course, in the course of the primary, because of the experience that he had in New York City. That's just one of several things I talked to him about. Take a look. Let's start with the news today, coronavirus spreading rapidly. Do you trust, and should Americans trust, President Trump to deal with this crisis?
No. He is not prepared for a crisis like this. Quite the contrary. He fired the pandemic specialist 2 years ago. He's defunded or unfunded or reduced the funding for Centers for Disease Control. He's had 1,600 scientists leave the government in the first 2 years of his office. You don't know exactly what's going to happen, but you have to have trained people who have practiced working together and have established trust in each other and know where to go, so that you can have a team that can, at the last minute, adjust your solutions to whatever problem arises.
Do you think President Obama did a better job handling Ebola than President Trump has done so far?
I don't know how you answer that. I can tell you President Obama had in place teams like I just described. So he was much better prepared. Sometimes a lot of the stuff is luck. It either hits or it doesn't. You go left and you should have gone right, or you went left and by accident, and that was the right ways to go. But I think Obama had a much greater understanding that you can't do everything by yourself. The way I joke about it is I spell team T-E-A-M. There's no I in the word team. I keep lecturing. Trump's definition, or how he spells team, is just with the letter I. And you saw that when they took out the Iranian general. There wasn't a State Department to go to ask for advice, because he'd fired almost all the experts on the Middle East and on every other place.
Let's talk about Bernie Sanders, who you hit pretty aggressively on the debate stage. And you're heading into Super Tuesday. The moderate lane of this vote is potentially splintering. Did you spend $400+ million just to hand Bernie Sanders the nomination?
I don't know why you think. Look, Bernie Sanders has been running for years, and there's 4 elections that I didn't participate in. I mean, I had no say in Bernie Sanders. He's built a group of people that follow him.
But don't you see yourself splintering the other support?
Well, I believe that if Bernie Sanders gets the nomination, he will lose to Donald Trump. He will make sure that the Senate stays in Republican hands. He will flip the House back to the Republicans, and even down ballot, he's going to hurt the Democrats. So you will have a lot of gerrymandering down ballot, which is going to, in states, which will hurt the country for a long time. But worse, at the federal level, you will have a whole bunch of judges, probably even 2 Supreme Court justices, that the Republicans will appoint, and those judicial decisions that come out of that will be devastating for this country for decades.
Would you vote for Bernie Sanders over Donald Trump?
Well, I've criticized the party loyalty where they say you have to vote for the candidate. Everybody gets on board. Of course, I'll vote for him, and they don't really mean it. And I think Donald Trump got elected because of that kind of loyalty to the party. A lot of people in the party didn't like him. But in this case, the alternative to the Democratic candidates, even Bernie Sanders, is so bad, I've said that I will vote for the Democratic candidate, even if it's Bernie Sanders. Now, I'm a little bit off.
Sounds like you might have to hold your nose and do it.
No, it turns out, well, I might have to vote for him. But the other day, his staff, for reasons beyond me, said, oh, we don't want Bloomberg's help. So I guess I'm off the hook there. I mean,
were you prepared to spend money to help Bernie Sanders?
Yes, I made the commitment that I will keep all of our major offices around the country open through November 3rd.
And how much money would you be prepared to spend on behalf of Bernie Sanders?
I have no idea. You know, let's see what's needed. You'll see whether you think you can spend the money efficiently. And in this case, you'll see whether they even want it or not.
What does success look like for you on Super Tuesday?
Getting a decent number of votes. You're not going to carry California. Bernie Sanders, by all polling results, say he will carry California. But you want to make sure that we have time to go forward in the other elections and win more delegates. And if nobody has a majority, just a plurality, then the Democratic Party has some rules about you go to the convention in Milwaukee and they take one vote and nobody has a majority. And then there is a horse trading, however you want to describe it, a process that the Democratic Party specified. And
are you committed to staying in through that entire process?
As long as you have a chance of winning, absolutely. Why would I spend all this money and all this time out of my life and wear and tear, which I love, incidentally. It reminds me of my 3 campaigns in New York for mayor, which I did like. The difference here is I've got to fly from event to event, where there I used to drive from event to event. But yeah, sure, I love it. I'm going to stay right till the bitter end as long as I have a chance. So, if Bernie Sanders were to get a majority, then of course not. But after that,
so a majority is the line for you. Even if he has a clear plurality, you'll still stay in.
Yeah, I mean, if it was one vote away from a majority, then you'd have to start thinking about it. But yeah, if it's just a plurality, you got to be in it to win it. Anybody that goes in, I'm running a race and I'm behind with 1 lap to go. What am I going to quit? No, you run harder.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.